Happy Sunday, Janelle.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for taking time out today.
That's all good.
Yes, Janelle here is one of my good friends here in Sydney. We worked together for quite some time now.
Probably close to 10 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And the very funny thing about Janelle is when we went to a familiarization trip, she was the very first colleague who was with me
Yep.
in Vietnam.
Well, it was Vietnam and Cambodia. Yep.
And we were doing the luxury aqua expeditions.
Indeed, we were. Yep. That was a good trip.
That was a good trip, right? Was it your first time in Vietnam at that time?
It's my first time, only time I've ever been there.
In Asia?
No, to Vietnam and Cambodia.
Okay.
But I will definitely go back there. Like, I
Okay.
loved that trip. And I
Yes.
loved the destination and the people. Oh,
It's incredible, right?
very nice.
And you know what? One of the stronger foundation in our friendship is like I remembered we had a dinner one time with those big bowl of wine glasses. Remember?
They were like fish bowls.
Yes,
Yes.
they were like fishbowl serving. Was it red or white
Red
wine?
wine.
Yes,
Red wine.
red wine, and it's so funny because I remembered it was I think dinner time, and you were quite emotional because her only son Brooklyn
Yep.
was on an event,
Yep.
and you can't be with
I couldn't be
Brooklyn
with
at that time.
Correct. Yep.
Can you refresh my memory on that time, please?
I actually can't even remember what happened, but it was one of my first major trips without Brooklyn, like as a single parent. And I had left him with a very good friend, and they were taking Brooklyn to like a sporting events, and there were school events. So I was probably quite emotional due to the fact that I couldn't be there, and I like to always be a very present parent when I can to be at those events with Brooklyn. So I think that would have probably been one of those situations where I couldn't be there, but I knew I wanted to be there. But I got photos. I do remember that they sent me some photos.
Yes.
And then I think they even sent me a video of Brooklyn, whatever the event was. But I do
Oh, that was so
remember-
nice.
Yeah.
And how old was Brooklyn at that time?
Oh, so that was like 8, 9 years ago. So maybe he was only like 6, maybe
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to be very honest with you. That single scenario built our friendship.
Yep. That trip built our entire
Yes.
friendship. Yes.
Because I knew from that time on
Yeah.
that you were the best parent a world can have.
You know what? Being a parent, I think whether you're a single parent or whether you've got like two parents, I think being a parent is not easy regardless. I mean, every child has their struggles, but every parent has their struggles. We've just got to make sure that you have an open communication with your children. I'm very lucky that Brooklyn and I can communicate and we talk about everything.
You're just like friends, like the best buddies, right?
Yeah, with a bit of discipline here and there.
Oh, yes,
Um,
that happens.
But yeah, I think being a parent is never going to be easy, and you've just got to find what works for you as a parent and your child and your family. Like that's the hard part. Every family is so different. Every child is so different. My reactions are not the same as another parent's reactions. So
And how old is Brooklyn now? Or we call B?
14 and a half.
Wow. So a teenager. Few more years, he'll be turning 21, and you have. So, Janelle, can I then ask you, what do you think is the biggest challenge of a parent here in Australia raising a teenage son who is as active as B or Brooklyn?
Yeah. So Brooklyn's definitely active. He has also a great network of friends, which is very lucky. I think one of my biggest challenges is being able to compromise and talk with him to make sure that he's in putting himself, making good choices, but putting himself in a safe environment. I think there's going to be situations where he will, as a child growing up, as we all do, make mistakes. You've just got to be able to learn to say, have we learned from that and how do we move on from that? Unfortunately, in this environment where we live also, it's probably not one of the safer environments for a child, but it's learning how he can better himself to be in a safer position and a safer environment. He has a great network of friends.
which I think is important,
And
right?
together they all make some amazingly good decisions together. They call each other out if they know that the situation isn't going to be a good situation. A lot of the boys are not allowed to be without parents anyway. Like they do a lot of independent things. But like going out at night, it's the very rare occasion if they're on their own. So I don't allow that to happen. But I think it's keeping our children safe and reminding them that like they have to be aware of their entire surroundings around them because you don't it's the unknown that will probably affect our boys or our children, I would say. So it's keeping them safe and making sure they make really good decisions when they know that they need to make a good decision and to be safe. Like for me, he has to be safe. He's my only child. Like
Of course.
I don't want anything to go wrong with him or any of his mates.
Yes. Oh, that's so nice,
But they
Janelle.
travel independently. Like they'll go from here in Parramatta, and they all go over to Bronte together. They all go to Bondi together. They go to Clovelly. They'll go to Balmoral together. But they all travel together as a safe network. They're not independently doing it to get into trouble, and they have to leave at reasonable times. They're not allowed to like not travel at night. They're not allowed to do that at night. Thank goodness. They've all got tracking devices.
Oh,
So on
wow.
our phones,
Yes.
they've got a tracking device or through Snapchat or through Life 360. So we all able as parents to
The
be able
essence
to
of
see,
technology, right?
yeah,
Yes.
to
Oh,
be
that's
able
so
to
good.
support them to know where they are and that they're safe.
And have you met all of Brooklyn's friends?
100%. He's
Okay.
not allowed to travel without me knowing who his friends are.
Uh huh.
And if there's a child that I don't feel is of probably a good attitude, I would normally not allow Brooklyn to go.
Yes, and I think that makes it a lot of difference because you're guiding him on the right path, right?
That's a lot of
Which
it is guidance.
would lead me to my next question, like because I know that Brooklyn is now studying in a Catholic school. Was that Brooklyn's choice or was that your choice?
It's his choice. It was completely his choice. He chose to go to the school because they are a very good sporting school. They have a lot of opportunities for the children, and it's an all boys school. Um, the schooling itself, and I think academically, my child is not an academic child, which is totally fine because not everyone is. But he's getting through school, but he loves the sporting side of the school. He independently goes there, leaves home, catches the bus and the train to school, and then train and bus back home. So he does that on his own. I don't have to get involved with any of that, and that was one of the requirements for him to go to the school was that he had to independently find his way to and from. And he does that. But he does it with mates. Again,
Yes.
they're all together.
Yes,
So
and that's the most important thing as well because I think going to Brooklyn School is accessible from your place,
100%.
right?
It's
Yes,
very easy.
yes, and that's for me is very important.
Yeah.
So you are also a full-time worker. Yes. So tell me about your job now here in your present company.
So you and I, of course, have been together. I think working together almost 10 years. How long have you been with our business?
Almost turning 9 now.
9 years. So we've been
Yes.
together for 9 years.
Yes.
Okay then. So I've been with the business almost 13 years, I think it is, coming up to 13 years this year. And I'm the work-life balance for me is something that I find really important in a business, but it's also what we like to instill in the staff. Like you guys independently have to put yourselves first too. So when you have health concerns or if you've got family issues, like as a business, we have to be able to adapt to that. And I think that's where we're very lucky as a business that our director asks us, or the owner asks us to make sure that our work-life balance is the same for our staff, and that's exactly what we want you guys to have. But it's a fun job. Like working with 70 odd people is a challenge at times, but of our little team, it's actually really fun because we can have fun.
Yes,
like,
that's
There are
right.
serious times, but majority of the time, like we can actually have fun. And I think for us, you and I, but the rest of the team, having open communication, like I'm hugely all about communication. So hopefully that shows through when you guys are needing time off and what's happening in your lives. Like we all have different health issues. So we've all got to be able to adapt to say, okay, I need to take a bit of time off, or I do need family situation that needs my help and support.
And what's your daily routine with Brooklyn during weekends?
Weekends.
Yes.
Our weekends would be Friday night. We might go and watch friends play basketball, or we might even have a quiet Friday night where we sit on the couch and have popcorn. It's
Yes.
my favorite night. As a teenager, I don't get cuddles anymore, so the opportunity to have popcorn on the couch means that I love it more.
Yes.
And then Saturday is sports. He's all about sports Saturday.
Yes.
And then Saturday night we'd be out and about with friends or family.
Yes.
And then Sunday we would be catching up with friends and family or sport again. He doesn't play sport on a Sunday, but it would be seeing his cousins play sport. He's got a lot of cousins, so we go to watch a different cousin each Sunday play sport.
Yes. And Janelle, Brooklyn has a strong foundation of family here in Australia as well, right?
Yeah, so we've got my family up on the Central Coast. We've then got the rest of my family down in Shell Harbour. And then here in Sydney, we've got a great network of friends. Like I have, there's 8 of us families that are very close, and we're not as such related, but we are family because we'll all be there for each other. So without that network, I'd actually probably really struggle in my life. I've then, apart from like my 8 family close friends, through his sport, I've then got some even more close friends. So I'm really lucky, like we, not I, but we are really lucky that his friendships are now my friendships also, which has helped us all to have wonderful little networking. We all hang out together on weekends, we go to parties. And
Like yesterday, you went to escape room.
yeah, that was awesome. Like
Yes.
escape rooms are crazy good. But like one of the mums the other day said to us, "Oh, on football training nights, I'm going to start making charcuterie boards so we can sit here and eat while the boys are at training." And I'm like, I'm all down for that. But like the simplest of things,
Yes.
they're the moments that you love.
These are the moments that you cherish, right? Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
love about it. But yeah, can I just say, escape room, everyone has to do one.
Yes.
That was so much fun. So next time you're back, we are going to do an escape room together. as a
Yay,
team.
yes. That's on the date. And Janelle, because obviously, Brooklyn is now in his high school life. Do you talk to him about what his plans are, what he wants to do, and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do. We've often talked about little things like that, but because we have an open relationship and we can talk quite openly about everything, we've probably had more conversations than a lot of parents have probably had with their children about life, if that makes sense.
Including love life?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Girlfriends.
Okay.
We have a girlfriend, so
Okay.
we talk about those
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So we've talked about lots of different things. Due to Brooklyn probably not being as academic as he probably would love to be, but because of his dyslexia, he does struggle a little bit with that. And I think because of that, he's struggling at school, so he's not academic. But at the end of the day, Brooklyn has already said what he would love to do when he finishes school. It's whether or not he goes through and completes year 12. He's unsure if he wants to do that, or if he's going to finish at year 10, then go to TAFE and then do what he wants to do. So he's got a few ideas. He's got to work towards that. His school at the moment that he's at, they put them through, and he's doing at the moment timber work. I think that's what they call it. Don't know what they call it, but it's timber. And that then helps to give them a white card so that they can go on job sites and work on job sites. So they need a white card, and that's what the school will provide to Brooklyn because that's one of his electives he took.
Yes. And I think that's very important because that's how they are molding the youth these days into the right career choices,
You've
right?
got to help guide them into that path that works for them. Like every child is so different. Like some kids are so good on technology, and let them do that. Like let them work on that. Some people will be wanting to go down the path of doing like videography or whatever you want to call it type thing. Like there are so many different pathways for different things. So we're working on a different pathway to suit Brooklyn for what he needs and what's going to enable him in life to be more successful.
Yes.
So, and dyslexia, like I remember once I was talking to Richard Branson, and he has dyslexia, very bad dyslexia, and he said to me that I need to find a pathway for Brooklyn to make sure that it is suitable for Brooklyn that makes him happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. But just one very quick question. Obviously, you and Brooklyn will be talking about his career. And so, if you have the choice, if you have this power, what would you wish for Brooklyn to be?
really corny. Do you know what? I really don't care what he does. It's the weirdest answer and it's probably quite generic. But for me, as long as he's happy with what he's doing and it helps him to develop as a person, then I really don't care what he does. I don't care if he is the rubbish dump person that goes around on the truck and empties the rubbish bins every week. I wouldn't care for that as long as it's a job that he's happy with, or if it's a job that he wants to be really successful at and earn lots of money,
Which is the most important thing,
which
right?
is which is good.
Yes.
But he also needs to then realize how to work with that money and his finances. Brooklyn and I very much like to spend money, but do we
Okay.
have the finances?
Yes.
Oh no, we don't. But we have fun doing it.
Yes,
So,
yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Janelle, thank you so much for your time on this Monday. A bit chilly and rainy.
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. Sunday. Sunday rainy and chilly morning. But again, thank you so much for your time. I can only wish the best of you and B. For me, my wish for both of you is to ensure that you're both healthy, because I think that's very important.
Yeah.
That B will grow up to be a very fine young lad, which I think he will be. And obviously, for you to find happiness. I don't
Yeah.
know what your
What
term
that
would
looks
be.
like.
Yes, but because every person will have different ways to be happy, right?
Yeah,
But again, thank you and cheers to more healthy and progressive life ahead.
Oh, can I just say, Michael, I want to thank you though, because I know that this is something that you've just started and I think you're doing really well with it. Personally, I really enjoy that you're getting out there and you're getting to meet people and doing different things in your life. You are one person that is not of the following path of everyone else. Like, you like to have diversity, which I love.
I'm just being very nosy, to be honest.
Good on you, that works. But thank you for everything. Thanks for coming to this beautiful little cafe too.
Thank
It is
you.
the cutest. So
Thank you, Janelle. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.